This week on 5 Acre Tech, keylogger, AI, and get your passport fast. This episode of 5 Acre Tech was released on August 14th, 2023.
I'm Ronnie Tofty.
I'm Adam Ogan. I think we did that backwards. And I'm your host. And Ronnie is your host, or we're the co-host.
Hostess.
I'm not sure what we are. This
Okay.
is our 7th
I like hostess.
episode of our
You like
podcast.
hostess?
And for
Ding dongs.
I do
Twinkies?
like I like the ones that
Did you
are
ever
the
the
vanilla.
zingers? Did you ever the raspberry?
No, I don't think
Twinkie with the raspberry.
I like the
Oh.
Twinkie with the vanilla
Mm.
frosting ones.
Mm-hmm.
But since they went out of business, back into business, they're not the same.
Well,
They
that's
were
true.
really, really good.
The ding
but
dongs were
never could get into those.
really.
Yeah, they were for ding dongs.
Well,
I don't know what that means, but
yeah,
yeah.
neither. But
Yeah.
there you go. Anyway,
Anyways, on our podcast today,
did you see the fires in Hawaii?
yeah, that is really bad.
It's my wife said there's a fire in Hawaii. I'm like, I didn't. It's too wet there. It's too wet there to have a bad fire, right? I'm sure it's just a tiny brush fire that they're freaking out about. No, that's not the case.
Yeah. And talking about fires and tech, this show is about tech. This is the first time we're putting it on YouTube. In my ear, I'll change the subject. I've been hearing a ticking sound. And it just occurred to me that while you were talking, it was your phone laying up against
Oh,
the mixer. So I don't know if you
So I
guys
know-
will hear it or not,
that's why you moved.
but
it.
we ended it. So
I couldn't hear it because I can't hear it. I can barely
think
hear
you have
anything.
to move it
Oh,
away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just,
Okay.
it's interfering.
Oh,
So
okay.
we learn something new about tech every day.
There we go.
I'll have to tell you something about that is actually really,
What's that?
and then we'll get back to the Hawaii thing. Something about tech and ticking sounds and going to the hospital thinking you're having a heart attack, and then they do an EKG on you. And this is years ago. This happened to me. They do an EKG on me and go, something's wrong. And I'm like, well, what is it? And the guy shows me the graph on the EKG machine. I'm like, oh, I take my pager off. Yeah, pager. And I throw it across the room. I said, okay, try it now. I mean, not like I threw it overhand, but
right.
toss it across the room away from the machine. He goes, oh, that's much better. So it was sending off the signal, causing an issue because it was on my belt and they had something connected to me right here and a probe or something. And
How did you know it was how did you know?
I knew that because I heard the ticking sound as we just heard here on other pieces of equipment a long time ago. It may have been a karaoke machine, may have been something I had a microphone next to, but I actually heard that before. When I saw it on the graph, I was able to troubleshoot and go, this is it. Unbelievable.
Really?
But anyways,
I didn't realize they made a tiny noise.
yeah, each phone is different. Like this one, I don't think is making that noise. Ronnie has an Android phone and I have an iPhone, and it's sitting in the same spot and it's not making a ticking noise at all. So
Well, there you go. Kudos to iPhone.
who knew?
Yeah.
But back to the fires,
Anyway,
which
the
is very
fires.
tragic.
I mean, that is probably one of the most beautiful places I've traveled to. I've traveled
never
all over the
been.
world, but you haven't.
Mm-mm.
Lahaina up there is just tropical and beautiful and what you'd imagine. It's very sad. But I got a question for you. I was watching the news and this girl kept saying how actually it was a TikTok. And she said that she lost signal in certain side, one side of the island, the west side of the island, they had lost a lot of their signal, and so it was causing problems because she couldn't get in contact with anyone to tell them that she was fine. And then I started thinking about a conversation that you and I had, which was the newer phones, your phone can actually make satellite calls.
Yes, it can. And it is very cool. I have not used it, but I have tested it with the on the iPhone 14. It can make SOS satellite calls back to Apple. Apple's got it set up through, I'm not sure the satellite company offhand. I know I read about it when it came about, and it was really cool to try when it actually came out on the version of iOS that it came out on. And actually was up in Alaska, and we took a helicopter ride to the top of a glacier and did dog sledding about 4 or 5 months ago. And I tested the demo there because it was really neat. I wanted to try it, but my dad wanted to use it. So I sent him a little video. I can pull it up here in just a minute. But it was very, very cool on what you can do with it.
So is it only SOS? Pull the video. Is it only SOS?
It's if you're going to actually
contact your family, in this case, this girl was trying to contact her family.
No, yeah, it's only going to be SOS. Now, whatever you say to them, they will probably forward that on because there's actually live people at the end of it. This is what I'm going to show, and I just got the video here. What I'm going to show, I'll just turn it on now. Let's see if it comes up. And
I think this is something that most people probably don't realize they have, right?
Yeah. So anybody has an iPhone 14, basically, you're going to press the up arrow or the up sound button and the power button at the same time to activate where you can turn off your phone or go to SOS. So what I'm doing here for this test for my dad was I went outside, I held the phone straight up and down like this. And then as you saw it move, basically it's trying to acquire a signal. So it's looking for a signal now. Let's hope it's still working. Video's doesn't seem to be moving.
Let's see if we're looking for a signal.
No, it's still going, but the video just kind of stopped working. Interesting. Let's try it again.
It's moving.
Yeah, it's moving, but nothing's moving on the screen up there. There it goes. So basically, I'm getting to the point. We'll go back a little bit more to where it's going to pick up the signal here. So there it is. I'm moving the phone around to get to the right signal where the satellite's up in the middle. And then it acquires the signal, makes a connection. You just sit there and wait. It may move because there's several of them going across, and now it's sending information back to me, and I'm basically saying to it, this is awesome, to see what kind of response I get back. I'm not sure if they respond back on this. I think it's all automated for the demo, but it does get you to the point on how to get there. So you can actually go to the settings to test this of your phone, type in SOS, go to the SOS area, go to the very bottom, and basically what you're going to see is the SOS information come up. It shows you how it works. But to actually activate it, you're going to press these two buttons and hold it, which would be the same buttons you would use to turn it off. But pretty cool.
I'm gonna search my apps and see if it says anything about that. Because I looked and it said no. The Android, the Samsung S23 Ultra could do it. And I pulled up a video and it said, push the power button 5 times in succession, and it would pull up the SOS signal, and it just did SOS. Right. So you had to wait a few minutes, and it did the same thing. It connected, and then it sent a signal out. But he in his demonstration had to cancel it because he didn't want to do that. But but you're saying someone will come on the line with you.
Yeah, you'll be texting them online and telling them what's going on from your phone.
Wow.
Yeah. So if something would have happened, or the glacier broke with all the global warming,
Right.
we could have
Could have happened.
got a hold of somebody, even though they had Starlink on top of that glacier in one of the cabins there, and distributing wireless everywhere for everybody, which I thought was really cool. And it was very cold up there, so it's twice as cool.
It's cool both ways.
Yeah, cool in two ways, like you would never believe. Yeah, so basically it's just a really neat tool, basically, to help people.
Cool. Well, I think this is something that people, so if you're a tech fan and you're listening to this, or you're interested in a little bit of technology and you didn't realize that your phone could do this, you should do the research, because it's an important thing to have in a crisis situation.
And test it out.
Yeah.
Use the demo.
Yeah.
We're all going to have it for, at least for now, for 2 years, but you never know with Apple.
I think
Apple's probably going to go ahead and just give it away with the cost of the phone every time you buy a phone, but we don't know that. So but right now for 2 years, you get that feature.
Yeah.
And
I bet you
these safety features they put together are pretty cool.
What they'll do is they'll use it as an additional fee if you'd like to make it so that you can communicate, not just SOS.
Well, if pretty soon, actually, T-Mobile, they're working with T-Mobile, or T-Mobile's working with Starlink to be able to actually get connected, and you can text people that are in areas where you have no service. So that's the rumor. That's what's been on the news. So Starlink and T-Mobile are working on something. Don't know what that is yet, but we're going to find out. I'm a T-Mobile subscriber, so I think it's going to be pretty cool. Be cool to test out, because I mean, if for example, we had the hurricane here, we had no service for several days. One of the things I got to make sure this never happens again was Starlink, just because if we leave and come back, we have communications.
Oh, I thought you were going to say ham radio.
Oh yeah, we also have the ham radio. So anybody that that would like to prep in advance, you can get a ham radio, or get several ham radios. You can buy it on Amazon between $30 to $60. Get your license in an emergency situation. That's overwritten. You don't have to, from what I understand. I could be wrong on that, but I could believe I read that correctly. It's not a must, but that's one of the things you have to do. Is really, you should get your license, because it would help you to learn and get part of a ham club, and you'd be able to connect to somebody's tower with a walkie-talkie, and a repeater tower that's up very high will get good signal. And then you can help several people contact other people, or let people know what's going on. So always a good tool to have.
Absolutely. So factoid.
All right. I've been waiting. I look forward to this part.
Why is it a mouse called a mouse?
I think as long as I've been in this, I would have known, but I don't.
Because of the long cord coming off the end. Of course, the new ones are all Bluetooth and have no cord, but originally they did, and they resembled a mouse. Being a licensed pest control technician, that would be incorrect, because a rat is the one that has the long tail. A mouse's tail is not as long. Yeah. So they got it wrong, but it was still a good shot. A mouse.
Yeah, it's very good to use, because that's how everything you see right over there is coming up on the screen, by using a mouse. So very cool. Very cool factoid.
Yeah.
Very awesome tool. They've made lots of different kinds. Remember the trackball? Yeah. Did you ever have one of those?
I never did.
I did, man. I loved it. And then I realized when I went back to a mouse, I was not efficient after all. It just was not efficient. It was very slow.
I had the little thing in the middle of my laptop with that. It was like a little button, and you kind of wiggled it.
Yeah, I remember those ThinkPads.
Yeah.
IBM ThinkPads. They had it. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's really cool.
All right, what's our first subject?
First subject.
Oh. Yeah.
Keylogger.
So that girl was all over the news.
I didn't see that story. You were telling me about it. That's
Yeah.
what started this.
Yeah, I did, because I don't know anything about it. And apparently they have a way to, this girl got fired from her job because she was working from home. And this is, I think working from home is great.
Yep.
I have a lot of friends who work from home and they are efficient and they do a good job of it. However, there are people who will take advantage of it. And she was not working as much as she said she was working. And they started monitoring her somehow. How did they do that? How did they monitor her? Do you know?
Well, it sounds like they probably used a keylogger at that point,
Right.
to monitor what she was typing and what she was doing.
I mean, that's what they said. They said,
yeah. So that's one way to do it.
Keystroke is what they said. They called it keystroke technology or keystroke something.
I'm not sure about, but a keylogger is basically something that they can install on the computer. They can install a USB drive to the back of the computer and basically see everything that's happening and everything that they're typing. So if they're not, there may be another technology that they're putting in there to basically monitor. I bet you there is, to monitor how much the employee is actually doing on the computer. So if they say, hey, this employee needs to spend of 8 hours, 3 hours on the computer a day, they're going to be able to tell that. So I have not looked into that portion of the technology. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was there, because people, they want their employees to be efficient. And so a lot of what's happening right now is a lot of companies are saying, hey, you need to come back to work, not work from home anymore. And it could be because people are being complacent. People wanted their jobs during COVID.
Yeah. Well, I believe that there are a lot of jobs out there that people can do fast. I know my wife for a while worked in an office setting, and she said that she sat there most of the day waiting for something to do.
Yeah.
And that they would give her stuff to do and she would do it fast and get inefficient and get it done. The other girl would sit there all day with a similar amount of work, and it would take her all day to get it done.
Yeah.
Whereas my wife was, so if someone handed you a stack of work to do, however, whatever that looks like at home, and you got it done fast, I don't have a problem with someone taking a break.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
So I think that's what, I don't know what was happening with this lady. It's a bummer she lost her job, but they were tracking her. They said that there was a couple they said how many days, whatever it was, 30 or 60 days, and 4 of those days she didn't come to work at all. They said.
That's crazy. Yeah, I could see that happening. People get complacent, unless you're an independent agent of some sort and you're doing the work yourself. You're not working for a company. You're just working off of commissions. But, hey, that's your business.
Right.
You're only going to make as much as you put into it. But then there's also other companies or government facilities that require, they need at least 2 people for a job, and they may only have 1 or 2 people come in that office a day. Mm-hmm. But if somebody's sick, how are they going to know what to do to help them? So it's, those jobs, people need to obviously be easy on those people because they're there for a reason. Mm-hmm. They have to know what to do when that person comes in for that. They need to get something with their property. Who knows? So that's quite a bit different. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's interesting. But you could, keyloggers are a good and bad tool, because you don't want that on your computer. If you keep good antivirus, right, or internet security, you're not going to have an issue.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
Hopefully she gets a job back and she takes it more serious. I don't know. I don't want to call her. I mean, I'm sure she was taking her job serious, but it may have been simply the fact that she was more efficient than what they expected.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe they were questioning her what she was getting done already. Maybe that started it, right? She wasn't getting very much done. So like, what is she doing at home?
Right.
Who knows? But
probably
anyway.
Watching Netflix.
Well, I mean, I hope not, but
that's what I would be doing right now if we weren't doing this, because I'm missing all my shows.
Netflix. Oh.
Not necessarily Netflix, but
Mm.
I have no clue. So the next thing our topic is AI. Do you know anything about AI?
Not really, other than it's taking over the world.
It is taking over the world, and actually, we are not here. We are AI. This whole show is AI. Just by chance, it built itself.
We just said make a podcast.
Yeah, we said we told Bing to make a podcast, make 2 characters, one named Ronnie, one named Adam, put all this stuff in this room. And by the way, if you can see over there, please don't feed this Sasquatch. And I programmed that in there. But actually, to be truthful, it's as easy as saying that, but not to this point where it will change the video. But I've been using it to write little stories for my grandkids.
Well, it's funny because I said I don't know anything about it, but I did learn recently that a lot of students are writing their essays and doing some of these papers with AI.
Yep.
And it's getting so bad that the teachers are defending these essays with AI because they can't tell the difference.
Yep.
But they're developing AI to catch the AI. I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how that works, but the podcast that we use stream BuzzFeed. No, Buzzsprout. We use Buzzsprout.
BuzzFeed's news.
Yeah, that's news. So Buzzsprout has an AI feature that actually goes in and does a whole write-up, gives you several write-ups of what you can say, what you can add, what title for the podcast. I basically use Bing for my what do you call it? For my bio, told it to write a bio.
Mm-hmm.
And it wrote a bio, and I added very little of it, and it sounded great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what I wanted it to say. I didn't have to put it in my own words. So it's making a lost art a lot easier for some people, which I need that.
I would just want to know how to get involved with AI to maybe make a little money.
That I'm not sure.
Because
this is so new, I don't even know much about it. Being in the tech world, it's just kind of I ignored it until it came out.
Right.
It's been interesting.
Well, we all ignored Google too, and that was a mistake.
Yeah. That was.
Because we could be sitting here right now in like a palatial, how do you say that? Palatial mansion, but we're not.
No.
We're sitting in a little, not a little room, but
this is actually a little room. This is 1/4 of the room.
Yeah.
Across right over there is a kegerator.
Mm-hmm.
Not very far, probably what?
That's why we have
4
beer.
feet. Yeah. 4 feet away. But then we looked at this and said, hey, this would make a good spot for the video podcast. So
it makes a great spot.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. This couch, by the way, I love this couch. This took a while. This office, it basically was just packed with stuff. Since I'm in the technology business and I'm always buying stuff for clients, it's everywhere. I mean, even some of the stuff is right in front of us right now that I'm working on. You can't see, but I left this part really nice, just to give you an idea. But I walked into IKEA, and these couches right here are in the very front. So if you go inside of an IKEA and you sit down on that couch, so I usually have 2 or 3, sometimes 4, depending on which one you go to. It is so comfortable. And so that's where I got this from and why it's so comfortable. I love sitting here. So it totally made my office better. That area right over there is where the computer is. I got a TV screen across the way. It's all home automated in here.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
All right. I'm gonna have to end this one quick because I'm not sure if we'll get in trouble on this one, but
make it a cantina.
I won't. We don't have it hooked up, so they won't be able to hear it. We're gonna do it next week.
Okay.
We'll have it hooked up
next week. Tune in next week, and we're gonna make this room the cantina from Star Wars.
Yeah. This will be
by simple command to our Echo.
It'll be good for home automation. Very good. So I don't know if I told you. I don't even know if you noticed it, but I bought a new camera for the property.
Really? Is that what this is right here?
Yep. Down there. One of us wants to get it. Of course, I got my sunglasses down there. So this is another Reolink. I decided to go with this, and I was going to go with another cellular version or LTE version, and I got this one instead. So it's solar panel, and it's got AI in it. So I thought it would be a good time to talk about AI. So this I have not even tried yet. We'll talk about it next week. And this is supposed to follow whatever shows up in front of it and get close to it.
Oh, so if the guy's sleeping if the city worker is sleeping in your driveway, he can follow him around.
I can actually, it will zoom in on that and report back to me. Hey, this is happening. And it will follow anybody who's walking or any vehicle that's driving according to what it says. I'm not doing a review on it. We don't do reviews at this time. But
if you're, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But it's going to be neat to see. So maybe we'll put a little side video on how this works and what it did for us. Be interesting. Maybe that'll be our first regular YouTube video.
Yeah. A sponsor.
Yeah, could be.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, we'd love to have a sponsor.
Right
now, we don't have one.
Who's our who's our sponsor?
Oh, we do have a sponsor.
We do?
Yeah. Okay. Let's stop here. We'll take a break. This episode of 5 Acre Tech has been brought to you by Sand.
Sand?
Yeah, well, it's all over the property.
That's our sponsor?
Yeah, well, I tried.
That's our sponsor.
That's
Sand.
our sponsor, Sand. If you would like
it's
some,
more of a nuisance.
If you would like some, you can go to any hardware store that's popular, such as Lowe's Depot. And go get some sand.
Someone got in my truck today and they're like, oh, looks like someone took this to the beach. And I'm like, the beach?
Oh,
I think the entire South Texas is the beach.
Yes.
It's just sand everywhere.
It's sand everywhere.
So
yeah. I think Aladdin said, get used to it.
Yeah. There you go.
Or the genie did.
The genie
in Aladdin. Yeah. So we'll hook that camera up and see what it's about.
Cool.
And go from there. But I got one last thing.
What's that?
So this was brought to my attention, and we never really talked about this before we started the podcast. And we decided to go to Alaska about 4 months ago, and I needed to get my passport renewed.
Why do you need a passport to go to Alaska?
Oh, that's a good question. So good. It's because all of our friends who decided to booked out of Vancouver, Canada. So we had to go to Vancouver, Canada and leave out of Canada to get to Alaska.
I see. Because Alaska is the United States, correct?
I still think it is.
We purchased it.
I did not know they spoke our same language there.
We purchased it from Russia.
Which I told them that, and they thought it was pretty funny up there. So we have some friends up there.
Hello. We being the United States, not me and Adam.
No, yes.
We did not purchase Alaska.
Yeah, we the people, not we the us.
Yes.
Right. Anyways, so we had to get our passports renewed. I went online. I decided we'll try the new online renewal system that the passport people have, whoever that department is. I think it's the State Department of some sort in there.
The United States Department.
My wife got hers. Yeah. I think it's in the United States.
Okay. I don't know why I said that.
I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out one day. Maybe we'll just watch. Anyways. So my wife gets her passport in about 4 or 5 weeks, a little longer than normal. That's okay. Mine still has not moved. I'm going online. I keep looking. I've called up, got nowhere with the people from the passport department. They just pretty much read a script and there was really no help. I'm sure they were doing their job and they were doing what they were told to do, but they weren't any help at all. So we're about ready to cancel the whole thing. And you may have seen stories out there, and I've seen stories, and it was happening why this was happening. So I decided there's got to be another way to get this passport, because I need to make an appointment, but you can't make an appointment until 3 weeks out or 2 weeks out to go to the passport facility. And I think the one that I was going to have to go to would be in Houston. So I'm like, this is going to be impossible. I mean, I'm going to have to take time off. I work for myself, but still trying to find time is hard. You have to go up there. I have to go a day in advance, make an appointment, probably not going to get the appointment in time. We have to leave. We were leaving a week before, have to be at the, try to get an appointment at 2 weeks before. So that only gives us a week. And it was looking like it would only be 2 or 3 days shy of 2 weeks to get an appointment. And they wouldn't even give me one until 2 weeks out. So I searched all over the internet and then I found it. This is the key. So it's really not about getting your passport fast. If something goes wrong, you want to contact your congressman's office for your area or your state representative's office for your area. And on their website, you can request anything you need. And I had no idea they did this. I didn't know what they really did. But this is what they did. I filled out that I have a problem with my passport. I gave them all the information I can. I uploaded it all. And that was about 4:00. The next morning, I get a phone call from I don't remember which office it was. I get a phone call and they said, hey, thanks for sending this information. We're going to try to get onto it and find out who has your information. It'll probably take 2 or 3 days. Once we get a hold of them and we know where it is, it should be 2 more days and you'll have your passport.
Wow.
That was Monday. I did this on a Friday. By Saturday, and I did it probably 3 weeks out from the trip. That Saturday, I had my passport.
Wow. Like in hand?
In hand, shipped to me.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it.
That's impressive.
And I called them back
Call
and I
your
said,
congressman.
yeah. I called my congressman's office back, talked to the people that they handled all that. And I said, this is amazing. I cannot believe that you did this. What can I do for you? Can I bring you guys something, bring you some food, whatever? Said, no, all you can do, and this is what I'm doing right now, is what they ask is to get the word out because not enough people call for help, and they'll help with any department, federal department that you're having trouble with. They may or may not be able to do something for you, but on this issue, they were. So that was the message that they gave me. So I'm giving it to you guys. This may be a way to get your passport without losing your trip.
Good information to have if you were booking a trip. I had a friend, I don't know all the details, so I'm not going to tell the whole story, but she had to get her passport in like 5 hours. And somehow she did it. I don't know what she did, but it was impressive.
Yeah, it can happen. It's a lot of work, but we didn't have to go anywhere. Did all through email, send them everything that I had. And even after the trip, a month after the trip, I went back onto the passport website and it still said in process.
Were you nice? Were you getting a new passport or renewing? Passport?
This is for renewal. Passport renewal.
Okay. That's where I'm at. Mine's expired too. I haven't renewed.
Yeah, and you got to do it like before 10 years. And so there is a way out because that is a new system that they have, and they would turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. And we did it while it was on. And my wife did it from one computer. I did it from another computer. I think we could have done both passports on one account, but we built separate accounts because it just wasn't clear enough, or maybe we're just doing it too fast and didn't read quick enough or read all the material that they had there. So that could have been our fault, but I'm not sure. But we don't know why hers went through and ours didn't. Mine didn't.
Weird.
Very weird.
Clerical error.
Definitely.
So are we I think we need to wrap up. What do you think?
I heard the tick now.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do need to wrap up. And on that note, we're going to end.
Hold on.
Oh, there's something else?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Because we got to do our on this date in technology history.
Yes. Thank you, Ronnie.
Yes. So on this date in technology history, the first, what year do you think this was? Obviously, we know the date. First transatlantic telegraph cable was completed.
1527.
No. Yeah, that's not
Got it
right.
wrong again.
1858, which is quite impressive when you
Wow.
think what that entailed. It took him 5 shots. Wait, let me see. 5, 4, 4 failed attempts. So the 5th one.
Wow.
So you think about that, laying a cable across the ocean from Europe to America. That just seems daunting even now.
So that
To be
just
honest with you.
reminds me of some older movies where you would see them doing a telegraph, and that's probably what that was for, to do telegraph overseas.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's
Wow, that far back.
1858.
That's incredible.
Which was, yeah, quite a long time ago.
Yeah, that wow. It's amazing where we've come with tech.
Yes, indeed.
That is definitely amazing. I can just pick up a phone and text somebody in Australia in a minute.
Right. Just beep, beep, boop, and see their face.
Which reminds me, I probably should do that right now.
Call someone in Australia?
No, text.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do that.